Battlefield Portal has been the most exciting part of 2042 for me for quite some time, and every time I open Battlefield I always check out what Portal experiences are running because I want to see what people are creating. It's only been out for about a week plus the official release now, and things have been really inventive and really creative early on, and I really hope we get to see more from Battlefield Portal in the future. Now today's Battlefield Portal experience isn't really a crazy one. It's something that I really like in other games like Squad and Hell Let Loose, and that is a good military simulator style video game. I'm a big fan of hardcore shooters, I'm a big fan of tactical shooters, and Squad is actually my most played game on PC of all time. So a military simulator server showed up, and that's exactly what I dove into. Now before we begin today's video, a big shout out to EA for sponsoring this video. I've been looking to cover lots of Portal experiences and I appreciate them supporting the channel. Now this Milsim server I stumbled upon for the first time when watching a buddy of mine's video, Karmaka. Now Karmaka is a fantastic military simulator YouTuber. He covers Squad, Hell Let Loose, Postscriptum, Rising Storm, Armor, a lot of the games that I love to play as well. And he's created his own Milsim server called the KC Milsim server, which you can actually see on the server browser that's active at any given point if people are hosting the experience. And that one was hosted over in the States, and I still joined the server even though there was a little bit of ping and a little bit of latency involved, and I had a fantastic time on this server. Although it's not conventional, although it isn't a conventional Battlefield experience, using the US and Russian uniforms as well as different weapons and different categories for each given faction can actually create a really enjoyable experience, and this was on a rush layout mode. And it got me thinking, well, I may as well make my own. And that's exactly what I've done. I've taken the base settings that Karmaka has introduced onto his server, and I've made my own called the TheTacticalBrit Military Sim Server. So TTB Milsim Server if you want to search for it, and here is the code on screen if you want to host this experience for yourself in any given region. And I'm really excited about this because Karmaka had a really great rush server, which meant that it was a hardcore rush situation, which I really enjoyed, and I decided to expand it to a conquest style situation just because I feel like conquest can also be equally interesting in some places. Now military simulation servers have been a part of Battlefield for a long time, but without the proper toolset it's been very difficult to create something that feels authentic and promotes a more Milsim style experience. So what we've done in this experience is a lot of things. For starters, we've completely taken away the HUD and drawn back all the elements. If you want to focus on an objective, you're going to have to use your big map, which is accessible to you at any given point. We've increased the global damage setup of this mode and also increased the headshot damage of this mode to make it a more lethal setup. It's not too lethal, you'll definitely still have a little bit of a window to react to taking damage, but it's definitely more lethal than any traditional setting. Alongside that, everything has been stripped back. There are no offensive vehicles in this beyond the main battle tanks, and primarily this entire mode is reliant on transport vehicles that have limited offensive capability and can be very easily destroyed by enemy explosives. In terms of gadgets, equipment, assault rifles, weaponry, we've scaled all of that back as well. It's also faction specific as well, so for example, a Russian soldier won't have an M4 assault rifle. They will have something akin to an AN-94 or a G3A3. So you're going to see asymmetric weaponry, you're going to see asymmetric attachments. Everything has really been balanced in a way that the US and Russians feel like defined factions with their own setups and equipment. We've also taken away DMRs and sniper rifles just because in this mode they could be a little bit too overpowered, and we don't want everybody running around with DMRs and snipers. We'd rather people were sticking to a full-blown infantry fighting experience. And hopefully in future we'll be able to scale the individual damage of weapons, meaning that we could scale back the DMR damage to try and create a more balanced experience. So that's the basis of it really. A more hardcore team play oriented experience with less offensive capabilities and more infantry focus to create something that's a little bit more interesting. The player count is also capped to 100, so not the full 128 experience, a few less soldiers just to make it a little bit more breathable, a little bit more team play enjoyable. And they'll be running rush and conquest rotations of this as well, because rush can be a lot of fun in the hardcore experience, and so can the conquest experience experience. Now, while Milsim is new and something that's exciting, especially in Battlefield Portal, we've temporarily disabled friendly damage, because this is one of those modes that obviously it's cross-platform, and we're going to need people to get used to this kind of setup before we enable something like friendly fire. And with a limited HUD as well, we don't necessarily want people shooting each other over and over again. But it's great because the US and Russians have really defined uniforms, and it can create a really good atmosphere in the game. There's something about the fluidity of the Battlefield engine, the Battlefield maps, the animations, the setup, and a more hardcore experience that can bring out really good fun in Battlefield Portal. And it's something that I've really enjoyed. This entire Milsim experience that I spent most of the evening on last night, actually, just playing away, was a lot of fun because it's still quite fast-paced, even though it's a Milsim style experience. So although you're getting that really good team play where lots of people are reviving, throwing down health and ammo, you know, repairing vehicles, you're not getting any of that experience where you're feeling solo, you're feeling like you don't have a team with you. You know, there are people throwing around all bits of equipment, there are people rezzing each other, because there is no health regeneration, and there is no, you know, tank repairing. You know, it doesn't just heal itself. You're gonna have to hop out and manually have somebody help you out. And so far, the experience has been a lot of fun. It's sort of like a Milsim light experience, so of course it's not super hardcore, but it's hardcore enough that you're going to be able to enjoy the experience and try something a little bit different, a little flavor of Battlefield that's a little bit on the harder spectrum. And this is ultimately the benefit and genius of Battlefield Portal. It's something that's been really exciting about Battlefield 2042, and one of the reasons I'm going to continue to play 2042 long into the future is down to Battlefield Portal. The potential for this tool to continue to expand and offer really great experiences alongside the experiences people are already beginning to learn to offer is really exciting. And this Milsim experience, for example, is just a very basic mode. We haven't even used the logic editor, and so far people have created some really cool things by going into the logic editor. There is somebody, for example, who has actually created a full wingsuit training experience where the circles that you have to fly through to gain points are actually character AI in parachutes. It's incredibly inventive, and it's something super creative that's only been out for the short space of a week. And I highlighted a few other experiences in a previous video, such as the Squid Game experience, which had a red light, green light system, which was just a fun minigame. So whether you're somebody who's into a really wacky mode, or somebody who's looking for a Milsim hardcore experience like I've showcased to you guys today, there's just a lot of potential in Portal, and it's one of the reasons that Battlefield 2042 is exciting. And this is just the beginning. Hopefully over the next couple of weeks we'll see more experiences pop up, and even better and more refined Milsim experiences if that's something that you're specifically interested in. So folks, that's about it for this video today. Again, the share code is on screen if you want to try out this experience and host it for yourself, or look out for the KC Milsim server or the TTB Milsim server, which is either myself or Karmacut, who's hosting his own military simulation server as well. They're a lot of fun, they're a good time, I highly recommend them. As always folks, if you enjoyed this video, leave a like, leave a sub. We're on the road to 100k and I greatly appreciate it. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll catch you in another video.